Oh, hey guys. Feels like Friday, but it's really only Thursday. But welcome and thanks for jumping on. Delia, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's always easier to do these in two people rather than one.
I
I
love
get,
it. Yeah.
yes, I don't know. I just don't like doing it by myself. It never works as well.
No, it's good. I prefer having a buddy, which actually goes right into what we're talking about and wasn't really planned, or maybe you planned it. I don't know.
I
But
did not, but yes.
yes, working with others is always so much richer. It's a lot more fun. For a long time in my business, I think especially when I first started and I was doing eBay, um, I was solo. I was trying to figure it out, and I was by myself doing that, and with a newborn and a toddler, and that was tough. And then I had a mentor, and that helped, and then joined a mastermind group, and that was absolutely life changing for me and how I looked at my business, how my business grew. So relationships are so important, but they're so much more fun. And when you're having fun, you're more creative. There's just more that comes out of it all the way around. I think you serve better, all those things. So um,
Agreed. Yeah, I used to think that what I only want to work by myself and not have to deal with people. And I did it for a while, but it gets kind of lonely and
mhm,
hard. And um, at times when we have challenges, if we don't have other people to talk to, we might end up feeling like something's wrong with us.
yeah,
We don't realize, no, actually, this is a normal part of building a business. Challenges happen. We do have issues come up. So um, I have learned over the years that it's much easier to work with other people, and I have made more money in doing it. Um, Now, right as we were talking, I pulled up a Slack message, and it's just like a team member didn't do what they were supposed to, and now a client is saying like, "Hey, do we have to issue a refund for it?" Like, I probably shouldn't have looked at it. The kind of maybe
yeah,
listen train of my train of thought. So things happen all the time, but
yeah,
what I've learned that if I have other people who are doing similar stuff, and every time I talk to them, I get encouraged and motivated because I realize we all have challenges to work through, and as we discuss our challenges and how we solve them or where we're at, other people give us input, and then we help each other, and it becomes easier because it's not like all of the pressure or all of the um, uh, I mean, the task of figuring things out. It's not
yeah,
just relying on me. I have other people I can go to. So having people in your life that um, can be, that sounding board is
hmm
essential. Now, how
hmm
are you going to find those people, right? That tends to be
hmm
the question when people start um, living this entrepreneurial lifestyle, or they start thinking about income streams. The question becomes, how do I find these people?
hmm
Well, first, give yourself time, right? It's not going to happen
yeah,
overnight. I don't think you have a really great friendship or really great relationship in your life that hasn't taken some time. So it does take a little bit of time, but place yourself in the right room, around the
hmm
right people, and then you will um, expedite the process. You will make it a lot easier on yourself. We use this stream to I'm sorry, the stream quote. We use this quote during the challenge a couple of times to emphasize the potential of revenue. It's not how fast or hard you row your boat, it's how fast the stream is going. It's not how fast or hard you row your boat, it's how fast the stream is going. So usually, if we place ourselves around the right types of people,
hmm
um, we that usually also places us in better streams, and
hmm
because people like to help each other. I There are business people who are mean and not very helpful, but there are many business owners out there that are happy to share ideas with others. I had a friend who sells journals online call me 2 days ago. I was just finishing lunch, a late lunch, and he texted me and he said, "Hey, we're looking to find a printer for our journals in the U.S." And he knows I bought the printing business.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Do you have some time to talk?" So I jumped on a call, and then they shared with me the fact that they've been importing from China. They don't have the experience of importing from China like I do. They just purchased the business a few months ago. So in 5 minutes, I could solve a big problem of theirs, and I gave them a suggestion that would probably solve part of their problem. And that was the cost of shipping was too high. So they didn't know what to do, and it was taking too long. And when you ship from China, you have two options. You can do by air, the faster option, and then by air, the slower option that
Mm-hmm.
costs a little less. So I just said, hey, look into this. That might actually work. And then this third thing I told them, why don't you find a freight forwarder? I share with them the one we have used several times, and see if the shipping costs are not lower if you use your own freight forwarder rather than using the factory's shipping option. Um, and then the third thing was I'll get my team to get you a quote for printing in the US, but I know it's going to be a lot more expensive. It might not work. In 15 minutes, right? They found out, I mean, they discovered a few different options they have that they were not aware of, because I've been shipping from overseas. And then today, I was talking to someone who has a connection to a manufacturer in Japan. Sorry, not Japan, in Turkey. And then I realized, oh, I can connect my friends to this manufacturer in Turkey, which I did. He responded right away and he said, I think we can help, but our team is on, like, they have a holiday. So we'll get back to you next week. um, by In this case, I helped them, but that has happened to me many times. Other people helped me. One conversation, they knew I'm somewhat connected to the printing world. He asked a question via text. I said, hey, let's jump on a call. It was a 15-minute call and then two emails between Tuesday. We had this conversation 2 days ago, Tuesday. So they benefited from things that took me months and years to learn. But it only took them 15 minutes to discover those things because we are friends. And this is a guy, actually, we were in a mastermind together, and he was the one who kept texting me saying, hey, how was your week initially when after we met? And we shared what we want to do in our business, and he would just keep me accountable. And for months, that's all he did. And now, a few months later, he benefited from this relationship, right? And I
Yeah.
know I would benefit from it. This is just one example that happened this week. Then another conversation I had today was with a guy who owns this Facebook group of German Shepherd owners. And most of you know that we do print on demand. And one of the things I want to test in the next 3 months is using an audience to launch products. So
Yeah.
I was telling him what we're doing, and I met him in another paid group. So people pay to be part of that group. I pay monthly to be part of this group of business owners who are making deals. And that's where we met. I mentioned something that I'm doing, and he responded, and then we started a conversation. By just talking today, I realized, oh, you can help me with my POD business. And he said, I'd be happy to. Let's do it. I don't know if it's going to pan out, right? If it's going to be okay, if we're going to make money. I think we will. He has an audience of people interested in a topic. I can
Mm-hmm.
create products for those people
Yep.
and sell them. After we sell them, we ship them. That's what print on demand is. So I don't even have to invest in the product beforehand. And I will let you know how that goes. But I'm just trying to emphasize relationships matter, right? If you place yourself in the right room, and sometimes that means you do have to invest in yourself and place yourself in the room with people who have spent some money. Now, I understand that some of you don't have a lot of money and you're struggling, you're trying to figure out how to do it. You can still find good people, even if you don't have the money to be in these groups. But that means you're going to probably take more time to filter out people and have
Hmm.
a lot more conversations to find serious people. Because a
Hmm.
lot of people talk about wanting to make money, but not a lot of people are taking action.
Yeah.
You want to find action takers. And that's why I expedite, right, or speed up the process by paying into groups that have the types of people I'm interested in. Um, the I was sharing with Jenny right before how I'm part of a group. Again, it's like $200 a year. People just share or have different business questions they post in the Facebook group. It's a newsletter. So
Hmm.
you get a weekly newsletter and then you're part of this Facebook group. And I've seen a lot of people ask questions and get really good answers in that group. It's a really large group. I had a question. I want to buy Facebook groups and audiences. I posted in there, someone responded, and it could be a really good deal. Now, because I know people have to pay to be part of those groups, I know those people tend to be a bit more serious. I'm not saying that if you don't have
Right.
money to be in those groups, you're not serious, but a lot of people who don't have money are not serious about building a business. So it might take you a bit longer. Just have more conversations, reach out to more people, be part of business groups like this one. The build your income stream group, right? Be around people who want to do the things you want to do, and
Hmm.
that's the first step. And if you commit and you invest in something like build with the Wealth Collective, which is a program where we build with you, we build an income stream with you, and everybody brings their own asset to the table, or they work on one thing to become better at that one thing. As we work together, right, we have the opportunity to build something really fun and really profitable. Now, I know it's not going to be easy. I know there will be months where we might be disappointed by the progress we've made for whatever reason, because
Hmm.
life happens to all of us, right?
Right.
And that's not going to change. But if you are working with 5 or 6 people in a group, um, then life happens to one or two, but there's still a handful, right, that can take some action to move us forward. And then we kind of share the load.
Hmm.
Now, we ask that you commit a specific amount of hours per week in the first 90 days because we want to speed up the process
Hmm.
and get to income as quickly as possible. But the idea was to place yourself around other people who are as serious as you are about changing your financial future. And at the end of the year, this is a year program, but at the end of the year, if you don't want to stick with us, that's fine. But I'm pretty sure that you will meet at least one other person
Yep.
in that group that you would want to work with. I'm pretty convinced.
Yep. I agree.
It rarely happens that you don't find anyone you wouldn't want to work with for a long term.
Hmm.
So worst case scenario, you make some money, right? You do have to pay to be part of this group, but you make some money, you cover your investment into the group, and then make some extra money. And worst case scenario, you make some money and found yourself a partner that you can build a 7-8 figure business with, because it's not easy to find good people. I know that it's not easy to find good people. I've made different partnerships, and my partners. I've had different partnerships where the partner made bad decisions, and it made me lose money, and it was painful. But I've learned a lot, so I know now more. What to look for, right? When I'm looking at
Hmm.
partnerships, what type of person do I want to work with? Um, so all of these things, I hope it
Hmm.
emphasize or underlines the importance of relationships, how working together can speed up the journey. It can get you to where you want to be quicker. That was the point behind build your income stream with us, the Wealth Collective. Again, you don't have to do it. Like that's the thing. We actually have enough people.
Hmm.
We don't really need other people to sign up. We can make another team if we get more people signing up. But whatever you do, if you don't place yourself around the right people, you're not gonna change your your financial situation, having the right people in your life are going to speed up the process.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
That has been my story. Whenever I partner with the people who had something I didn't have, and we brought our assets together, I made a lot more money a lot easier. It was easier to make the money. I'm sure I could have made the same amount of money or more, but it was so much easier to work together with someone else who had assets and skills that were complementary to mine. And that's why Jenny and I are working together, right? We have complementary skills. She has some graphic and marketing experience, and we could probably just the two of us build an income stream together. And I mean, I can think of 3 or 4 or 5 off the top of my head. We could, right? But we wanted to do it with other people because I have a bigger vision for my business.
Yeah.
Um, and it requires me to find good people to work with, and that's my selfish evil plan. Find really great people to
That's your
work
true
with.
motive.
Yeah, it is part of my motive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Yep.
trying to teach others what my philosophy is, so that the people who agree with my philosophy come
Yep.
forward and say, "Hey, I agree with you. I would like to work with you." Right? It makes it easier, and
Mm-hmm.
then at that point, it becomes a conversation, and we have to identify whether working together makes sense.
Very good. I think that one of the things that makes this unique, and not that not completely unique from everything else, but because there are other groups that are focused on relationships, but a lot of times a mastermind or something where you're building, the goal is to build income streams. It's focused around the money. And I think that the profit, really the increased profit, is a byproduct of the relationships that are built. And so the process for the Wealth Collective Mastermind group is there's an application. We'll share the link again to where you can get all the details. And then there's an application to fill out. And then once you sign up and the application's approved, then there's a form, because we want to get to know you. We want to know, what are your assets, what are your strengths, what do you bring. And I posted in here yesterday, I think it was, it might have been the day before, just a table that had some characteristics of an entrepreneur on them. And we look at these things and we tend to go, oh, I'm not that. Oh yeah, that I'm not good at this and this. And we forget, we don't always look at it as what are my strengths. And I think that that's really important to have that mind shift, to know you guys all have something that you're bringing to the table. If that's something that's holding you back, don't let it. Don't let it. We can help you figure it out. It's so much easier sometimes to have other people read that label that we have. Sometimes those are our blind spots, and that's actually really common. So if that's something that's holding you back, just, we know, we've worked with enough people to know everybody has something to bring to the table. So what we're going to do from that is really figure out which direction which direction fits these assets best. So, and we'll probably have a conversation with each of you as well, or all together. Okay, another thing, we've been very, very authentic, I guess, about this. Transparent is the right word. We are building this while we're flying it. There's so much value in that. You might think it's reckless. I don't think so at all. I think it allows us to hold things a little bit more loosely and be able to pivot quickly, and really meet your needs and be able to take action quickly. So we really are building things as we're going. We do have a master plan. Delia just shared her little evil master plan. But really, for me, I just want, I've worked with enough people that are stuck and not taking action. And I just, my heart is to really help you guys take action, whatever. And I know that requires some skin in the game. I've seen it enough times where I've tried to help people and they don't invest anything and they don't do the work. And then they go hire somebody who's teaching them the same thing that we went over, and then they do the work because they have invested something. So we know that that's a part of that as well. And so our goal is we are requiring an investment, But our goal is to get that back for you where we all work together. Let's get that back as fast as possible so we can make this profitable. We cannot make any guarantees. But we have done this enough in our own businesses before that we're pulling everything together, and we're confident we can do that again. So in fact, I think it'll be even easier because we're going to have a team to pull from right out of the gate. And we're building whatever it is we're going to build, what our income stream that we're going to build will be built around the assets of the team. So it's going to be customized. Just so much value. But what I love is that this is relationship based and we're doing it together. We're not just teaching you. We're going to be working together to build something great. And so that at the end of the 12 months, like Delia was saying, if you want to walk away and go do your own thing, you can do that. You will be fully equipped. You will have gone through building a business, getting it to 6 figures or more, and possibly selling it. You will have gone through that whole process. You will be equipped to do that again and again. So lots of value there. Just so excited. And the people, guys, there's a group of you that have signed up, and we've been going through reading your replies to the application and then to the follow-up. If you haven't gotten that follow-up form, please reach out to me because I know some people didn't receive it. It's exciting to me to read through the responses that you have. There's some really smart people in here, and I'm really excited to I think we're going to have an amazing pool to work together with. So it's going to be great. Very organic. Yes, Emily, it's organic. There's so much value in that. I think like early on when I was building my business, I was like, I gotta have a logo and it's gotta be really eye-catching and have this really cool name, Hunted Treasure, and it was all about finding garage sale items. And my logo had like this treasure map, and the T was an X, and it was really cool. Now I'm like, yeah, we don't need one. Eventually maybe we'll get to a point where that's something that's important, but really, let's build strategy. Let's take advantage of our strengths and do this the right way. And I think holding it loosely, building it as we go is really the right way to do this. So excited to have you guys on. If you have any questions, I know there's a couple questions about, we did have the audit, an audit option. Oh, a couple things actually, which Delia, we didn't really talk about in depth beforehand, but if the audit option is really just an opportunity to be a fly on the wall, so you wouldn't be investing in the building of the group or of the income stream. You also won't be able to take from the profits of that, but you will be able to experience the training. So we'll have a conversation. I've gotten a couple of emails about that. I'll reach out to you and have a conversation. We'd like to kind of do that probably more one-on-one.
So the goal is that if we don't charge anything for people who are auditing, my fear is that you're not going to do anything with it. I have worked with people where I didn't charge anything, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to help you do this. And after spending 10, 20, 30 hours with them, they just gave up. So when people tend to spend on something, especially if it's challenging, they pay a lot more attention, they take action. So we would like to give you a plan that you follow that doesn't cost much, and different ideas that I have tried to maybe generate some quick cash, and ideas that you could potentially try on your own and still help you a little bit indirectly. But you're kind of like the master of your own ship. You make the decision whether you want to apply it or not. So we have to finalize some details on how we can do it. We would allow you to see a lot of what happens behind the scenes, but you will probably not be part of every team meeting we have with a team that's actually doing the work. So you'll get like the big picture view, and you'll get some of the how. To the extent it will be detailed enough that you can take action on it. But we also have to protect the privacy of the people in the group and some financial data that's, we can share with you what we made and the profit. That's not a problem. But beyond that, at times we want to also be cognizant, right, that some people have invested in this, and we have to spend more time to work with them. But we'll figure out something that works if that's something you're interested in. And if I give you something to do and you show me you take action and you show me that you're an action taker, I can guarantee I have a place to kind of fit you in and help you take action. And we'll probably be able to do that with those people who really need just extra help because they happen to be in a tough situation in life, but they want to take action and they're ready to take action. So we'll find some stuff. Now the problem is it will probably take you longer to make a profit. So you have to be realistic regarding your own expectations, right? Because it's one person working on an income stream. It might take you longer to get cash in. So be real and don't put expectations that are unrealistic on yourself, right? If I see someone else making $50,000 in 60 days, and I might know maybe the model they follow, then I try it, but I'm not able to make more than $1,000 in 60 days. I could feel defeated and disappointed and give up. I might not know the backstory. Oh, well, this is something they've done before, and so it's way easier. They're not spending 45 days to learn how to do it. They just start taking action, right? So we don't always know the backstory, and we don't. And then we compare ourselves to other people, and then we have the wrong expectations. So if you choose the audit option, if that's where you're at and you want to do it, we'll figure out how to make it work. But make sure you have realistic expectations for yourself, because you can make the money. It's just that it might take longer. So yeah, don't put expectations on yourself that are not realistic. I know we can push ourselves to a lot. Like I remember when my brother was in the rowing team at Liberty University, and he during one whatever they call those, the contest where you go against other teams. It has a specific name for rowing teams. In one of those, he pushed himself so hard. He got to the end, and then he almost threw up because it was like he really pushed himself really hard. But he made the point after that race, and he said, I never thought we could accomplish this much in a race. But because he pushed himself so hard, he realized, oh, I can do a lot more than I thought. And then that point got pushed every race or every season a bit more. And then what seemed really hard first season seemed a lot easier season 3 or 4 or 5. So yeah, it's just as a principle in business. Have realistic expectations for yourself. If you are struggling, right, then you don't have a budget maybe to speed up the process for yourself because you cannot pay a VA or you have to manually do a lot of things, then it will take a little longer. You just have to make sure you choose a model that makes sense for you, that allows you to make some money as quickly as possible to, as stepping stones, kind of build right towards the end goal.
Yeah. Do you want to answer Gary's question? That was the next one there, and then I'll jump in. I have something I want to share, but he's just asking if we are able to.
Yeah. So I'm going to read the question for everyone who's might not be reading his question. Will we be able to get the other track information? He's torn by the track options. Just so that down the road, I'll be able to decide if another track would be an option after the first year. So this is how I envision it, that all the people involved in this will share. So it's not going to be two teams that are not sharing with each other, because even though there are two tracks, sometimes we have the same challenges. And sharing is going to help other people in the other team. So all of us who are in these different teams are going to know what the other team is doing. And we are going to share our successes and struggles and failures so that we don't make the same failures, right? If team A makes a failure, a mistake, we don't need team B to make the same mistake. So we are
It's a
going
hard way
to,
to learn.
yeah, we are going to be very transparent among the team members. And if there's someone who is misusing the information, is not a good team member, we're going to refund that person and end the relationship. Like, we do not need,
Mhm.
we're not doing this to get the money from each person. So we are not going to allow people who are misusing information, not treating people right. If there's something we see that is just does not work well, does not fit the culture, and it doesn't fit the values we have, which is help each other, work together, don't steal from other people, right? Some of
Mhm.
the what seems like common sense is it's not common sense nowadays.
Mhm.
um, we have no problem refunding that person and ending any relationship with that person. And I don't see myself doing business with that person in the future. So because of that, right, because we're attracting the types of people we would like to work with, we have no problem being transparent between the two tribes.
Mhm.
That's kind of how we're thinking about it.
Mhm.
And we'll do the hard decision. I bought a business a couple months ago, and day one, I realized the manager is not a person I want to have in my business, and I had to have the hard conversation and say, "Hey, we cannot hire you." And it was not easy at all, but
Mhm.
sometimes you have to do it. It created so much extra work for me and my business partner, but it was the right thing, because a
Yeah.
month later, the whole team was in a much, much better place because we uh, uh, did not
Mhm.
allow the wrong person to be in the group.
Mhm.
So I don't have a problem, right, saying no. I used to. It was a much bigger problem personally for me. But I realized I'm not helping that person and I'm not helping my team. Or in this case, I'm not helping our income streams if
Mhm.
we allow the wrong person in. So if it happens after, right, they said the right things on the application, they agreed with all the requirements, but then they don't actually follow through,
Yeah.
we'll still have to make that hard choice to make sure we protect the teams. And
Yeah.
I advise you to always stick to your values and not compromise on certain things.
Mhm.
Figure out what is essential and what you're not willing to compromise on, because the
Mhm.
bad clients, the toxic people are going to take a lot more than what they give you.
Yeah.
Let's say you have a client that pays you $500 a month for something, some type of service. Sometimes that's the worst $500 you can make, because they take so much time and so much mental energy. Imagine if you were to take that time and put it towards helping a person who is a good client, who actually brings you life rather than sucking life
Mhm.
out of you. Um, it's a hard lesson to learn, but sometimes we have to fire clients, sometimes we have to let people go. And it's we're doing them a service too, because
Yeah.
they at that point they realize they have to change something if they're willing to. Sometimes
Mhm.
they don't, but if they're willing to learn from that lesson, they can also go in a better direction.
Mhm. I love that piece of advice of actually figuring out what kind of people you want to work with now before you get into that position so that you're not as torn. It's more you can see it if you have a list, that you've made of things. What are your values with the people you're going to work with? Then when you find those people, you'll recognize it because you already have a list that you're comparing to. And if they don't meet those, you'll recognize that as well. So that's just a great piece of advice for um, the types of people that you want to, invest in or be around for certain, for definitely for building a business, but maybe in other areas as well. I just wanted to mention something, and I know a couple of you have emailed me about this as well, wanting to, money's tight, but that you really want to jump into this now. That being an action taker is really important, and like Delia was saying, one of the things that I have found that can generate income very quickly if you're willing to put the work in, and I just thought I would just share this briefly in case somebody's on the fence and they're willing to put this work in. I have found that I talk a lot about KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. It's I focus more on paperback books for lots of reasons. And one is if you can help somebody else, if you learn how to do that, which is not difficult, and you can help somebody else who can benefit from that credibility that being published on Amazon gives them. And if they are interested in growing their reach, there's some strategies that you can help them with, and you can generate some income really quickly. So the only thing you have to know how to do is KDP. And it's honestly not that difficult. I will tell you, my daughter at 12, she figured it out on her own. Not to say if you can't figure it out, you're not smart as a 12-year-old, but I'm just saying it's not that difficult. But I do, I have some resources to help you if you're interested in that. But what the thing is that the game's changed, I think. And although I've been talking about KDP before it was Create Space for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, it's a volume game if you want to just make money with books. That's not a easy, quick way to generate income. However, if you want to partner with businesses and you find businesses I want to just share just a real quick how you can do this. Okay, I'm going to be teaching a class next week. So if you want to dig deeper, you can message me about that and I'll let you know. But I want to give you enough information you can take and run with it. Okay, if you learn KDP, kdp.amazon.com it's not difficult to do. Get a book created. Doesn't matter if it's a great book. Doesn't matter if it's going to sell. Get one, get it shipped to you so you have one in hand that's a sample. Then you can go find businesses. You can go to local meetups, Chamber of Commerce, and you just tell them that you create branded books for small businesses. When they go around and everybody's sharing, almost everybody there at that meeting will be a potential client for you. You just need one, even just one a month. Guys, you can charge between $1,000 and $5,000 pretty easily to help a small business, get a book created and published on Amazon for them. So you're not making money from the books, they are, but you're making money from helping them, getting it up there. But there's some strategies that I'm going to be teaching in the class about how they can use that book, even if they don't make sales, to harness Amazon's traffic and increase their reach. So there's a lot of things ways you can help businesses if you know how to do KDP. So you're not making money from the books, you're making money from the businesses, from that partnership, right? And you find those relationships at business meetups and all of that. You don't have to write. You don't have to be a writer. They provide the content. A lot of these are low content style books. It's simple, creating a workbook with them. They will tell you what their clients need. You can, kind of walk them through that process. But I just want to say that honestly, getting one client a month, and you can outsource all of that. You charge half up front, you collect half on the back end. You've got $500 to $2,500 right out of the get-go. So as soon as you learn KDP, guys, within 2 weeks, you could go to your first meeting and you could have a client and make $2,500, get the book done, get the $2,500 on the back end. It's not a difficult thing to do. A lot of businesses don't realize how valuable having a book can be. They're very interested in increasing their reach. And so tapping into Amazon this way is a great thing for them. A lot of people, they want to have that credibility of having a book published. This is an easy way for you to help them do that. And the best part, it doesn't cost you anything up front. So it's all print on demand. They do the bulk of the work. You're just walking them through and getting the book published. So they provide everything for you. There's so much more to it. I'm about to teach a class next week, but I wanted to give you enough information so that you can go, if you wanted to, if you're an action taker, go to kdp.amazon.com, get your account signed up, started, and create your first book. And then start looking at businesses and how you can create a branded book for them. An example would be a realtor. Okay. They send out marketing all the time, marketing information. They usually often do calendars. I don't know what they're doing nowadays, but they'll send out calendars. Nobody wants a calendar. They use their calendar on their phone. But maybe there's a book, right? And so the book could have checklists in it for weekly maintenance, monthly, quarterly, annual maintenance for your home. And then also things to do when you're ready to sell your home, a year before, 6 months before, 3 months before. They're checklists that the realtor gives you. You just put them in a book for them. And the book is branded for that realtor. It's published on Amazon. They can harness traffic from Amazon. They have credibility. If I'm choosing between two people for a service and they're equal, but one of them has a book published, there's some more credibility for that particular one. So there's just so much you can do in helping just serve other businesses, coaches, life coaches, fitness trainers, teachers, tutors, accountants. I've done this, and I have made over $10,000 with 2 clients, and one of them I didn't do any work from. Actually, he paid me more than that. He paid me, I think it was more like 7 or 8,000 to keep me on retainer, and he never finished the book. I kept reaching out to him like, hey, I'm here, and he never finished the book, but I still made the money. He paid it to me up front, and it totally on him. So he was eager to, he just, whatever happened, I don't know. But it's not a difficult way to generate some income, and it could be enough to get you started with this if that's something you're interested in. Reach out to me, or maybe I'll post a link in the group. I don't want to distract you, but I know that some people, they really do want to be a part of this, and you need to generate some quick income or have some extra income to cover the cost for those first 3 months. This could be something that, could work for you. So I've got other people that are having great success with it as well. So I'm excited to talk more about it. But I think I gave you enough that you could run with it. If you don't want to have the learning gaps and you want the hurdles, and you want to know exactly what to say, you want the scripts and all of that, I'll have that all in the class. But I wanted to just at least throw that out there. It's something that, it's not a get rich quick kind of a thing. There's a lot of work to it. But if you are an action taker, this can be done. It's totally possible. And you could do it before, trying to think, when are we closing up the applications? The 5th? Oh, that's when we start.
No, on the 5th we close the application. On the 16th we start.
Right. That's when the class starts on the 5th.
Right.
So for the KDP class. But anyway, so whatever, reach out to me. I'll post the link in there. But I think at least you could get started. And if that's something of interest, just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. The one thing I've learned is that you can make money with almost anything, but it feels very overwhelming because you can make money with anything.
Yeah, that's a good
and
point.
Sometimes it's, that stage one, just going from learning about making money with X to actually making money with X takes a little bit of time. Again, I like that analogy of driving because most everyone who is hearing me right now has probably gone through that experience of learning about the car, but not having driven the car. And then it's very uncomfortable, very hard. The first time you're in the parking lot feels like you'll never be able to drive on your own. But weeks later, months later, driving feels a lot easier because you've practiced and you've done it. And there comes a point in your life where you get in the car, you do not think about driving. You can think about other things and you have all these other thoughts in your head, and you leave a place and you find yourself in front of your house and you cannot remember how you even got there because your body is almost on automatic, like, I don't know what that's called when it's just automatic reflexes.
Autopilot.
Yeah, it's on autopilot.
Muscle memory. Yeah.
You just do it. It's the same in business and making money. There comes a point where it's extremely easy. It's like second nature. But it's hard, that first stage. I realize it. Even for people who have been successful, that first stage is somewhat uncomfortable and hard. And however, you can make it easier for yourself, right? By placing yourself in the right environment and by placing yourself within the right conditions. If I guess if you play poker, I don't, but usually if you have a specific set of cards, right, you can win. And sometimes you don't have to have all the cards. In business, you don't have to have all the cards. You just have to find the other people who have those cards, and then you can win together. That has been the drive behind this idea of build an income stream together. All of these principles are not things I'm sharing with you to convince you to join. They're principles that have really changed the quality of my life and my business. And I've had plenty of hard seasons. I'm not here to tell you your life is going to be easy and you'll have no challenges, because that's not true. You live on earth like all of us. There will be challenges. I have a mentor who makes he doesn't have to work ever. He probably doesn't have to work ever again. But then his wife had a really serious health issue, um, and forced him to kind of put most of his free time and most of his time to actually care for his wife. We all have challenges. Life happens. There are hard things that happen. Doesn't matter if you make a lot of money or you don't. Um, there's no such thing as, no challenges in life.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the point is, right, make it easier on yourself, right, by placing yourself in the right environment, and because there will be challenges, and have the right people you can go to ask questions, to ask for help. The audit option would be good for that, because you will have the ability, we will have some calls for you where you can ask questions, and then share your experience, and then maybe get some feedback. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because you will have challenges. Like, I can guarantee, if you go into it thinking, oh, this is going to be great and it's going to be so easy to make money, you will be disappointed pretty quickly. Again, stage one is a bit hard, most times, because there's a learning curve no matter what we do. If when you change your phone or your
Yeah.
computer, don't you like hate how,
Yeah.
like, you have to
Or when it
relearn?
updates. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to relearn everything. But we use this, like, we can figure it out, because it uses the same
Yeah.
framework and system.
Yeah.
We can figure it out, but it's still annoying and frustrating at times. Now add and multiply that by 100 or 1,000, because it's a new business, something you haven't
Mm-hmm.
done. It's going to be challenging. So I'm just saying all these things just to help you have right expectations, because I think that's essential in setting yourself up for success
Yeah.
rather than failure. And
Yeah.
then there are all these principles we have gathered by doing business, by making mistakes, by having success. And as we're talking and sharing these principles with you, I'm just hoping that you're listening and that you're taking, I mean, kind of put it there in your brain, and at the right time it will come back to you when you need it. um, and the whole idea of the challenge, if this is not the right time for you to start anything new for whatever reason, that's possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea of the challenge was to plant some seeds and some ideas that can allow you to see what's possible. Even this whole idea, like, of building an income stream together, it wasn't something I thought about. I mean, I thought about it in the past, but didn't really pull the trigger on it, or didn't have all the pieces to make it happen. It was just an idea, but now we shared with you this idea, and now you realize, hey, there's actually other ways to make money. I don't have to do everything. I could work with other people and build something together and make money. Okay, that's something that
Mm-hmm.
maybe you haven't considered before. I share with you how I bought a business that is making money, that has sales coming in every month, right? That's another way to make money. Well,
Mm-hmm.
what if I could buy a business that is already making money? What if I could partner with someone who has a business and he wants to retire, and I just take over? I don't even buy it initially. It's sweat equity. These are ideas, right, to of how we can make money. All of these we're sharing to expand your imagination and your creativity when it comes to making money and building income streams. So I
Mm-hmm.
hope it encourages or challenges some people. And when we hear something that's different and new, it takes a little time for us to process it and work through it and think of applications before we really, like, buy in. Because if it
Mm-hmm.
goes against our um, what we have been taught, our belief system, it's like the body rejecting something that's not good for the body. It almost, like, right, we react to it, mentally
Right.
speaking. And it takes a while to process it and realize, oh, no, no, actually this is not bad advice. So it might take a little while for you to change your thinking, to go from an employee mindset to a CEO mindset, or business owner mindset. Or if you go from employee mindset to business owner, then to investor. That's where you're not looking at working in the business, you're looking at just
Mm-hmm.
working above the business.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It takes a little bit of time to get there, but our us sharing, we're doing it to challenge you, maybe encourage you, motivate you, and then show you other ways to look at things, because I believe that's going to open up more doors and more opportunities for you.
Yeah.
um, I don't know if you've ever experienced this. I'm pretty sure most people have. If you go to buy a car or buy something, let's say you're looking for a Prius. Before you go to look for a Prius, or before you think about buying a Prius, you don't usually notice all the Priuses on the
Yeah.
road.
Right.
As soon as you decide, okay, we're going to buy a Prius, and you start looking at cars and you look at dealerships and prices, um, you start seeing it everywhere. It's because your brain has been told, okay, now we're looking for Priuses. The
Mm-hmm.
brain rejects thousands and thousands of pieces of information every day. I think the statistics say that we see like 5,000 advertisements a day or something crazy like that. I don't even know how they number those things. Um, but our brain is trained to reject or ignore the things that are not essential. So that's why where focus goes, energy goes, and
Yes.
that determines your success. Um, and there was this really fun luck experiment where there were people who said, "Oh yeah, I think I'm pretty lucky," and there half of the people said,
Mm-hmm.
"No, I don't think I'm lucky. I'm really unlucky." And the experiment the researchers did. Um, they did a couple of different ones. One was to just they asked them to walk on the street on the sidewalk, and the majority of the people who said they're lucky, they actually saw a $20 bill on the sidewalk and picked it up. The majority of the people who said they're usually unlucky in life did not notice the same $20
Wow.
bill on the sidewalk. And it was
Wow.
um, this was an experiment where they were the same conditions, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were very intentional about making sure they are the same. They experience the same conditions. And then the second one they actually did a lot, but the second one I remember was they had to go through, look at the newspaper. And there was an ad in the newspaper that said, if you're reading this, go to the person running the experiment and ask for your $20 bill or $50 bill.
Uh-huh.
The people who said, I'm lucky most of the time, majority of those people actually saw it and they got their money. Majority of the people who said they're unlucky actually missed the ad and did not get their money. How is that possible?
Interesting.
We can train our brain to
Yeah.
look for opportunities. And our hope was that by going through this challenge, we start sharing some of the stuff we're doing, and we're talking about different ways to build an income stream, or how to think about building an income stream. And that will make your brain be more respondent or
Mm-hmm.
responsive to good opportunities. And it takes a little while to train yourself, but there comes a point where the normal, right, is to notice the right opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
or even if not the right opportunities, to notice the opportunities, and then you grow in your ability to evaluate the opportunities,
Right.
right? Yeah, all these experiments are actually fun for me. I think it's fascinating to see
Mm-hmm.
how we sometimes keep ourselves from being successful.
We
Um,
do.
yeah.
Your examples remind me of a friend of mine challenged me just because of how she was living, where she always would look for hearts in nature. So, like on the tree trunks or in shells or rocks, or, I mean, when you start looking for them, they're everywhere. It's just crazy. So, anyway, I saw this video a long time ago, and it was this family that had moved to the beach, and they went looking for heart rocks, and they would collect them, and they had them like all across their front deck, like just lined up, all these little heart rocks that they would find whenever they'd go out walking on the beach. And so they had made this video of them going out and finding them, and collecting them, and then adding them to their collection on their front deck. And anyway, at the end of the video, the little boy said, one of the kids, he said, "Can we look for square rocks? Do you think we'll find those?" And they went out, and sure enough, that's what they found. you see what you're looking for. You really do. And I think that that's a really, really good reminder, for sure. The other thing I wanted to just comment on, Delia, that this idea, I know, and then we'll probably close up, but this idea about challenges, facing challenges. I had, a lot of you guys know my story. I'm not going to get into it, but there was a point where I really pulled back in my business. My kids were school age. I was homeschooling, and I just wanted to focus on that and not on, I enjoyed my business, but I just was convicted about some things. And so I really pulled back. And about a couple years after, my husband was laid off from his job. And we kind of got in a position financially where something needed to change. And I was like, I'm not gonna jump in and do this. I need to be with the kids right now. And but it got to a point where it was just silly for me not to, because I had tools. And I knew how to build something. And once I got into my toolbox, and took out the things that I had already built, a couple successful income streams prior, I just needed to do it again. It really wasn't a difficult thing to do. And so once let's see, he got laid off in June, and I think it was November when I started kind of pulling out, okay, what can I do? What does my audience need? And I still had my audience at the time, and I just wasn't really doing much as far as a program to help them. And it was within a month, I was able to find a way that served people well, and helped them. I partnered with somebody who had an expertise that complemented mine. I brought in other experts to help them establish themselves in their expertise in different Facebook groups. Facebook groups had just started at the time. And within a month, we were at a really difficult place financially, but within a month, we were able to, all of a sudden we had the next 6 months of our needs totally taken care of. And that ended up being ongoing. And it was really because I had tools, and I had pulled back and wasn't applying them as much because that wasn't where I was focusing, but I was able to jump in again. And the tools are really timeless. I mean, technology had changed. Facebook had become more of a thing, and there were Facebook groups. And I knew how to look at those as opportunities. How can we use Facebook groups to serve people who are selling on eBay or Amazon or whatever? And that's what we ended up doing, was providing these little communities. And it hadn't been done before at the time. So there are things that you can train your mind to. There are tools that you can gain, strategies that you can gain that really are timeless. And it ends up, the more you practice them, it's like a switch you can turn on. I need an opportunity. I want an opportunity. I want to try something new. I'm kind of, whatever it is. And you really can't help but see them. And I think everybody who's an entrepreneur is kind of in that. You're already got to start. If you're an entrepreneur already, you're seeing opportunities, or you at least want to. You just need to train your mind a little bit more and to be more intentional. But I totally agree. What we set our mind to is what we see, and overcoming those challenges, what's in your toolbox matters, but those relationships really do play a huge part as well. All right, we've taken up an hour, and I don't think there were any questions. I think we answered them. If you guys have questions along the way, specifically about the Mastermind, we are taking applications, not a long application. It's like, I guess I lied last time. Well, I didn't lie. I just forgot. But I think there's 4 yes or no questions, and then 1 where you have to actually answer a question and give a little bit more feedback. But it's not a long, my husband's working on an application for a program right now, and it's like taking a week. So it's nothing like that. It's just something you should be able to do in about 10 or 15 minutes max. And then from there, we'll see if it's a good fit. And so far, I think everybody who's gone through the application process, you're in. If you haven't gotten an email from me, please let me know. I've got to make sure that that's something that's not working. More than one person is not getting an email. But yeah, I'm excited. So we're taking applications until Wednesday the 5th. All right, through Wednesday. So we have the holiday, but through Wednesday the 5th, we're going to close up applications probably that night. And then we have some pre-work. So once you're in, there's some stuff that we're going to send you. so that we can help determine what assets you have. You can start thinking differently along those lines, and we can hit the ground running the week of July 16th. And we'll talk about dates and all of that with everybody who's in. So I think that's it. I think we're good to go.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting because it's kind of scary and exciting at the same time, right? Because we said we're going to build something off of the assets we all bring to the table. So we certainly are going to leverage, right, our experience, our relationships, our businesses to a small extent or a bigger extent to speed up the process, because that's what relationships end up doing for us. But it is a little bit scarier than just coming up with a program where we just tell you follow the plan because this is what we want to do. No, it's more like, okay, what do you have? Oh, okay, now we can put you here. We can put this person here. We can build this or that. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, challenging in some ways, fun in many ways, and my intention is to make it extremely profitable. So I can't wait.
It'll be great. All right, guys. You know how to reach us, and we're in the group. So if you have any questions, let us know, and we will see you in there. Thanks, Delia.
Bye.
Bye.